Speak Your Mind with Candace Sherrill. We speak on the raw and cutthroat truth regarding business, life, and different views overall in general. Join the show. Let's get into it. Give a round of applause for our special guest today. Here on the Speak Your Mind show, the very first episode. And we have our special guest with us out of Loudoun County, Virginia, who is the owner of the 5-Star Beauty Mobile Salon, the 5-Star Beauty Collection. And she is here, Miss J. Ellis. She is the brand. And here she is.
Hey, how you doing, everyone? So just, quickly, we all kind of represent our own brand when we're first starting off as entrepreneurs. And so technically it's the Ellis J factor. So that's what we're going to go with. We're making up titles over here.
That's what it is.
So, yeah, we are, because we're forever evolving, and that's what makes it beautiful for entrepreneurship. You get to start something and no telling where it's going to end, because it's always going to evolve into something greater if you have a passion for it. So and that's what I encourage for all entrepreneurs to really do, is to have a passion for whatever it is. If they have it, is going to succeed. If you don't have a passion for it and you're doing it for the money, you're wasting your time. The entrepreneurship is not for the weak.
Exactly.
It is not. I ended up, I speak at several speaking engagements, and, I often get questions of, did you have a job before this? I left a 6-figure earning job. Mm-hmm. And when I started this, my income cut to like half, and sometimes it was like I wasn't even making any money because all of the money was going into the brand,
right.
And it's very important that I be very transparent when I'm speaking about entrepreneurship, because it isn't always pretty. It's not like we've always had Instagram to where you say hashtag I'm rich today. That's a fool's game. We ain't doing that, and I started this about 30 years ago, with the mobile salon. So we've always been mobile, to where the pandemic has created new niches for people to take their businesses mobile. But my structure has always been mobile. So as you can tell, we've been ahead of the times before, So that's about being that innovator and coming to the table with multiple hats, right. And I'm proud of that. It's very draining at times, but I'm very proud that I've been able to be a student in this industry, to be a teacher, to be a leader in this industry, because it's humbling. It's definitely humbling. There are times when you can't hang out all the time because you have meetings, you have deadlines, and you have to either fight for your business, because nobody's going to fight for your business the way that you do. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I left a six-figure engineering job, civil engineering job, to do this. To do hair, right. Full time. And I was making so much money doing the mobile, when mobile was so exclusive to me. I was making so much money. I had those checks just going to the bank. And that's what, thank God, it was able. I'm a saver, right? And so I don't spend money so willy-nilly, and it's funny, probably like 2 years ago, maybe, I probably say it now, my mother can attest to it, but I was like, man, so much money going out. Like I'm crying, I'm in tears because I'm heartbroken. Like all of this money is just going out, and the return isn't nowhere nearly as great as the money that I've invested. And I remember her saying, well, I remember there was a time you didn't have $200,000 to invest in your business without having a loan or something like that. So it's a bittersweet journey, now being where I'm at in the business, I can say that I'm rubbing shoulders. I'm learning to value those relationships. I'm sitting at the table with diplomats. I'm sitting at tables with the other ambassadors, and I'm learning so much. And I make it my duty to be able to sit and talk to other entrepreneurs that really want to, I don't care what industry you're in, right. To really do this and hone in on your craft, because the basis of it is the same. I don't care what industry you're in, it's the same. You have to have grit, you have to have determination, you have to have passion, and you can't share everything with everyone. I don't care how long you've had the relationship with them. Okay.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. You have to hold things tight to the vest, because everyone don't want to see you win. I think a lot of people are happy for you when the good is great, but when it's time to be disciplined, and that's another big one, you definitely have to be disciplined to be an entrepreneur. Right. Because There are times where, girl, I was rubbing Peter to pay Paul, Jane, Sally, and Malika, and all of the rest of the crew, rubbing pennies together, making something happen out of nothing. And ultimately, it was all about me standing on faith and asking God, like, what is my direction? I left this six-figure job. I know you didn't bring me this far to let me fall. And I've had missteps, not being obedient in my faith, not being obedient to that inner spirit that's speaking to you. What's that called? Our intuition,
Right.
partying when I shouldn't have been partying, studying, not studying when I should have been studying. And those are some of the things that have had me to step back. And it's funny because just so now I know you know that we've launched in Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have quite a few stores. So, and I'll say this, I won't disclose the number of stores, but
Right.
we originally started off with 40 stores, but we well over 100.
Okay.
Okay. So, and that's with the five-star Gentleman's Essentials brand. But it's just so much, and 30 minutes just isn't enough for us to have this segment. So you need to
Right.
do something longer. But
I'm working on something. So I'm gonna definitely have to bring you back on, but you are my intro person and you're an amazing person to start off with. So,
I appreciate you. Thank you.
you know,
Yeah, it's really about being transparent. I've had to step back from my brand. And thank God I'm able to be very introspective with myself as far as my brand. Because when I originally started this, baby, when I tell you that brand was all over the place, I had flowers and fruits all on my product. It was looking crazy and it looked good for considering I didn't know what the heck I was doing, right? But nothing coincided with it. Nothing spoke to my brand. But let me tell you what it did speak to. It spoke to the chaos that was going on in my life.
mm, mm,
That's what it did speak to. And so I make it a point to be an advocate for if your personal life isn't in order, chances are your business life is going to be just as chaotic because that's a whole nother level.
yeah,
It's important that you keep your credit straight. It's important that you keep your debt to a minimum, not biting off more than you can chew because sometimes, yeah, you can think, oh, that money coming in, but as Murphy Law would have it, that money doesn't always land in that bank account on time when the bills are coming through. You understand? And so it's important to build those very strong relationships with your vendors, your suppliers, other manufacturers, people that are buying your products. Connect with these business owners, whatever it is. Because I'm in the beauty industry, so for me, it's important to maintain and have personal relationships with the owners of the beauty supply stores, with the government points of contact or whatever industry I'm going into. And I do a lot of corporate business too. And so you have to figure out where you want your brand to be. Be true to yourself. Every audience isn't for you. You
right.
don't want every audience to be for you, you know,
Learn
because you can have, right, you seriously, you can have an upscale brand. And if you have someone that's more, I, I don't know, that doesn't represent an upscale brand, then that can tarnish your relationship.
yeah.
If you're not really mindful about the relationships and the connections that you are going into, because you are the brand.
Mm,
One, you need to be careful about who you're connecting yourself with, who you are allowing to connect yourself with, and ultimately where you want to go. And every party isn't for you,
right.
and that was a hard lesson for me to learn because I'm definitely the turn up girl, right? I'm the turn up girl. I'm like, oh, party over here, let's go. It is great to be in the party and to be in the know and all of that, but sometimes you just can't. You just can't. And that was one of the hardest lessons for me to learn is that I want to be the first one at the party or shortly thereafter, and I want to stay when the party closes. But in business, the key thing that I've learned, you want to arrive 20 to 30 minutes later and you don't want to be the last one to leave the party because what that says to other key players is her time is valuable. She values her time. She's a real businesswoman and she's honing in on her craft, so she can't stay for the party. She can't be the last one to leave. And that says a lot because when you are in certain arenas, people are looking at you. They're looking at how you move. They're looking at how you carry yourself, and you can't act how you used to act. We have to grow up. We have to mature. and even to, to attest to an event that I had been invited to 3 years ago. Now I'm rubbing shoulders with the ambassador of Ghana.
Mm.
Okay, the diplomats of Ghana. I'm sitting at their table, which was definitely an honor. And when it started off, I started off as a vendor. I'm outside, hey, how you doing? Let me introduce my products and whatnot. And it was really just me this particular time. And then the second time I was invited, it was by his assistant, you know. And so I was there. We were able to eat at this event. We were able to set up as a vendor. We were able to eat in the dining room with these people. And now this year, the owner, the CEO of the company was like, listen, I know you're usually here to promote your product, but I have another invite for you. I would like for you to be my guest at my table. And literally this particular day, my car had broken down, just shut off on me, girl. Shut
Mm.
off on me, wouldn't start back up or anything. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's calling me to ask me to be an attendee at this event. There was no working. I was at the event sitting with these other elite players. He saw something in me that I didn't quite see then. But guess what? I had people, hey, can we book Jay Ellis? Can we book her? Can she come and speak at our engagement? We have all kind of engagements set up for next year. So that lets me know that me stepping back
Mhm.
from that messy, chaotic brand that I created first has opened up the doors and has allowed timing to take its toll and to say, you know what? You need to step back in order to be able to rebuild and figure out who you are and who you want to be in business.
Right.
And that's what it allowed me to do. And when I tell you, when it's ordained by God and you are obedient, and I don't get it right all the time, please do not get me wrong. I'm still learning, okay?
Mhm.
But I have been able to step back and say, you know what, this is what I want my brands to be. This is what these are the colors that I want to represent my brand because these colors mean this to me. Yes, it is an African American formulated hair care line, but it's also a brand that go far beyond just the scope and the color of our skin, but it's mainly for our community because we have been so underserved in so many areas. And now with all of the diversity and everything, we're able to kick down doors. Hell, the door's not even on the hinges now.
Right.
We're able to go into rooms that we hadn't even been able to fathom over the years. And so you have to be ready for that. You don't have no time to get ready. You have to
You
be
be
ready.
right.
Hello, we got to be ready. And so even down to connecting with you, one of the best magazines. I've had so much fun working with you. I have to tell you that. You are one of my faves. It's been really great because now when people see you on the front of a magazine, they're like, what?
Hmm.
You know, what's going on? And that says a lot. That says a lot. I've been in several publications. I've shared that with you. I've shared my journey. But what I haven't done was put all of my body of work out there because it isn't time. And everybody don't need to see everything right then.
Right.
When it's time, the spirit will speak to me and everything will be disclosed then.
Right.
So with all of that, you have your highs, you have your lows, and then you have your learning. So for me, I take pride in knowing that I'm a student in this game right now.
Mhm.
I don't know everything. I do not want to be the smartest person in the room because
No,
that
you in the
means that
wrong
I
room.
have reached my pinnacle, right? And so it's been a blessing that I actually have other entrepreneurs that are coming for me. It's like, hey, well, what's your advice on this? Well, what you think about this? Do you think that this is a strong market? When I'm like, you want mine? You do that, and I'm still learning this thing too. But it shows me that I've done a great deal of work,
Mhm.
and when you're in it, you don't always see it. And the good Lord, like, thank you that I have a team that's around me that can say, well, you know what, even down to, we're just gonna have to do another meeting because it's just so much
So,
more that come with this, like the legalities of it, the things that you want to have in place in order for you to really get that B2B business. So you have the C2B, which is fine, but that's the hardest part of selling a product, whether it's a physical product or whatever. That's the hardest part because you're doing those one-off sales.
mhm.
Where you get your real meat and potatoes are from the B2Bs. That's dealing with organizations that's buying your pallet at an immense level. and even down to me doing my capability statements, that my business resume. I'm like literally sitting here scraping like, I had this certification, that certification. Wait, didn't I have that certification? Well, don't, and then my mother in the background, because she thinks she's my assistant girl. She'd be like, well, wait a minute, remember you had this certification and this licensing. And when I started off, Candace, I swear to you, my capability statement was a half a page. My capability statement now is 2 full pages, and we're shrinking fonts.
Not shrinking.
To get everything on the page, the branding deck, it started off like at 8 pages. Now I'm to 27 pages. That's how much work I have done. And that's just in 2 years with the expansion of the hair care line. Mm-hmm. We're not even talking about the flagship 5-star mobile salon. We're not even talking about that body of work. We've had celebrity clients. We have clientele that, for me, I typically like to deal with my hair loss clients because they need my services. They don't just want my services. Right. And being in my mid 40s, and that's a whole nother issue, right? Being a entrepreneur in a certain age bracket, I can't be running around here half dressed. Nothing wrong to the girls that want to be half dressed, but I have to carry myself in a certain way. Right. I have other people depending on me and watching everything that I do. And so I can't carry myself like that. So when I show up, I have to really show up. I can't be the clapback queen just because you said something wrong to me, and it's a lot. It's a lot to learn, but it's a beautiful journey when you learn the key fundamentals of things. Right. When you say,
right. Yeah. Your composure is everything. Just present yourself.
Your composure is definitely everything. And it means the world, because either you're going to pick, oh, no, she didn't. She said this to me. I don't like what she said to me. And then you risk that $100,000 deal or that multi-million-dollar deal. Man, you better go sit down. We play with checks, not each other.
Exactly.
No, ma'am. We're not doing any of that. So.
But everybody doesn't get that. I think that's a real big thing, like with entrepreneurs. You come across some that really don't know how to carry themselves and don't really know how to realize that, I guess. So even in my experience, like I found myself in rooms like, I am not supposed to be here, like, because it's just a certain standard that you carry yourself to. So it's like,
Absolutely. Every party isn't for you. Now, let me ask you this. Have you experienced losing friendships or relationships along the way?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Same here. And it's hurtful. It is hurtful because you think like these are people, and I've never had, like, I know tons of people. I could throw a party and that party gonna be turned up and turned out. You hear me? But when it, girl, I be having people catching flags to come to my parties. But realistically, it hurt because I want everybody to ride with me. I want to share my success with everyone. But realistically, everyone doesn't deserve your success. I think that's the most hurtful thing. And sometimes the closest relationships are some of the relationships that you have to really assess. Mm-hmm. Because if you, depending on where you are in your faith, right? And I'm not a Bible thumper and I don't go to church, every Sunday and all of that stuff, but I'm very, very in tune with my spirituality. And I have become very comfortable with me in my 40s, which is a beautiful thing, right? It's a beautiful thing personally and in business because I'm more controlled. I have more discipline, if you will. Maybe not control, but control, because I was out of control at one point in time, Chad. But I value things differently. I value, and I think that took a turn in my 30s, which helped me to be successful in my 40s. And so most women, I'm finding, they're not very comfortable with turning 50s and I got to do this and I got to do that. Well, here's the thing. Everything will happen the way that it's supposed to happen in the right timing. Because if you keep leading on to your own understanding and you decide to change the trajectory of what this path is supposed to be, you're going to mess it up and you're not going to get all that you're supposed to get. Right. And for me, I do my best not to say, oh, well, the money isn't coming in. The money isn't coming in. But the truth of the matter is the body of work is speaking for itself. Mm-hmm. And so I'm starting to see the ships come in. I'm starting to really see the big the big picture and the big rewards. But it took me some time to step back, realign different relationships. I had to get myself all the way together. And I had to have that long, ugly, hard, ugly girl cry with myself and just realize that things are changing. And you have to be comfortable with the change. You have to be comfortable with who you're turning into, and if you don't like what you see, guess what? It's called do something different.
Right.
Do something different. But if what you're doing in this moment isn't getting you the benefits and the rewards and what it is that you feel like you deserve, then you need to do something different. But that takes sacrifice. And a lot of people aren't comfortable with sacrificing. That goes to relationships, that go to business relationships, personal relationships, period. Your girlfriends. I have a couple of girlfriends that I just knew would be with me for forever and ever, amen. And I've been told, oh, you didn't change, this, that, and the other. Money didn't change you, this, that, and the other. Girl, if you stick over this little money I'm making now, you might as well jump off the cliff when you see what's really coming in for me. Just going to jump off the cliff, girl. We ain't got time to wait for you. I see you at the bottom.
That's so true. Like, even right now with transparency, I'm so uncomfortable with the journey that I'm on currently. Like, I am
and that's great.
See,
let me say this. Let me give you your flowers while you in this moment. That's where you need to be. You need to be comfortable within your discomfort, because I was there. And some of these journeys I'm still going through, and I'm so uncomfortable in it. But if you have a support system, great. But continue to be uncomfortable in your discomfort, because that lets you know that you're kicking down doors that can't nobody take from you. It's your time. It's your time, and I want you to go through it in them stilettos. I don't care how you do it, in them stilettos and them Nikes. You do it, and you do it with your head held high, because that's what's going to make all the difference. Because guess what? We ain't doing this just for us. Right. We ain't doing this just for us.
Not at all.
We have young women that's coming up behind us, and they're watching what we're doing. We have women that's older than us. It's like, dang, you know what? I really admire you. And I'm looking at them like, what? And here I thought I was admiring you. But you never know who lives you are touching. You don't know. So it's important that you carry yourself a certain way all the time. And it's not being fake. It's not being phony. It's about you honing in to your authentic journey. So be uncomfortable. Held your head high, and you keep on doing these interviews, and I promise you, however I can support you, I'm going to support you. I don't even know why I love you the way I love you, but I do. I do.
You're special in a good way.
This young lady got something going on, and however I can help make your dream and your journey come true, that's what I'm gonna do for you, because I believe in what you're doing.
I definitely appreciate it. And I
yeah, absolutely.
Whatever I can help. If you need any type of design work or anything like that, I got you, anything like that. So I know we're going down on this time. I just want everybody to know this is Jay Ellis. We're starting off 2025 with a bang. Is there anything else you would like to add? Is there any other advice you would like to give to any aspiring entrepreneurs who would like to go on this journey, no matter what industry they're in?
I would say to other entrepreneurs that are seeking to really start this journey, be passionate, be intentional about what it is that you want to do, and be clear. Be clear. You don't need the favor of everyone. You need the favor of the right one. And once you get the favor of that right one, the skies are the limits. Hell, the universe is the limit.
Exactly.
And just be very intentional, be disciplined, and understand that with every great reward comes with sacrifice. So if you're not ready to sacrifice, and you're not a person that's comfortable with sacrificing, sit down and go and get you a W-2 job. Mm-hmm.